So I thought it'd be cool to talk about all the different online business models that you could start today and which I believe is the best one and maybe the worst one as well, actually. I've tried a ton of different business models online in the last 10 years, all in the goal of building an online business. Some of them have worked out really well, some have been flops in the pan. And I feel a lot of people get sidetracked, procrastinate on starting something because they have all these different things in front of them. It's almost impossible to choose one. So I'll just give you a bit of a background on the different business models I've started, how they went, who I think they're best for, and which I think is the best one. So when I first started doing things online and wanted to make an income on the internet, I started doing copywriting. And it all came from this book called The 4-Hour Workweek, which I'll put a picture here of. It's the best book ever. If you've never read it, I'd definitely go and recommend you go and read it. In the book, Tim Ferriss, the author, talks about two different ways to measure wealth, and this idea of joining the new rich, as he calls it. And you don't want to get sidetracked by the front cover of the book, because it's a picture of a guy swinging between a hammock on a laptop, and it's called The 4-Hour Workweek. And for a lot of people, 4 hours work in a week is almost like, sounds impossible, but it's not. Actually, it's not. But that's not the whole theory of the book. The whole theory and idea of the book is to get you to think about wealth generation and freedom and fulfillment in a slightly different way, because it will then alter like how you think about everything. It's such a powerful concept. So basically what he was saying was, you've got two people. If one person works, say, 40 hours a week, or even more, and they earn £200,000 a year or whatever, maybe even more than that, and yet somebody earns ever so slightly less, but they're working half the hours so they can free up their time to work on other things, who is the richer person? Now, if you just do what most people do and measure wealth off the how much money someone has, then obviously you would argue that person A is the most wealthy. But the way that Tim Ferriss talks about it, this new rich, it's all about having time and money. So then you would argue that, well, person B, the person working less, earning significantly, a little bit less, but has way more time to do other stuff, is wealthier. And this really, really caught my attention. So this is kind of like where I transitioned away from working as a joiner, a woodworker. I went into personal training, still again, brick and mortar place, training people one-to-one, trading my time for money, which is not exactly ideal, but that's where I started. I then learned copywriting. So this is the first online business model you could start. You could start a freelance business. And I think this is great for a lot of people because, again, you are trading time for money in essence, but it's not in a way where you have to go and service clients like one-to-one like I was doing personal training. You can scale it quite easily if you want, but at the same time, you're able to work from a computer, a laptop, and you can have way more freedom and flexibility. Way more freedom. Which is what I started doing copywriting for. I could just whip open my laptop, work in a coffee shop, work wherever I wanted, work as much as I wanted, to like manipulate how much I was actually earning. Obviously I got filled up quite fast and I realised I was actually making another job for myself, which is not where I wanted to be. And I didn't actually scale that business. So I could have thought about scaling it and getting other copywriters to help me do the work and essentially freeing up more of my time, but I just didn't want to do that. I actually didn't have the knowledge of how to do that. So I just did like all my own client work, all my own fulfillment, everything. Now, while I was doing copywriting, one of my main clients was they had an online coaching business where they taught people how to start and grow private label, a white label product business on Amazon. So that's all the, finding a gap in the market, going to Alibaba, finding a supplier, getting a unique product made, bringing it in, scaling it globally. And I didn't have any idea what this was when I first started. I didn't know what physical products, e-commerce was really or anything, or what they actually did. So what I did was I actually followed their training to become better at email copywriting or email marketing for them. And through that, I actually started my own physical products business, which was a really cool experience because I got to learn all the ins and outs of logistics, manufacturing, how to actually find gaps in the market, how to know if something was viable, everything. And Great business model. Way more flexible, I would say, than copywriting. But the downside is you have to have a fair, substantial amount of cash to put into products. Like, you can't just buy products out of thin air. You have to have capital to buy them first. So there is an inherent, it's a higher barrier to entry. And then obviously the profit margins are a lot smaller than copywriting, because you have tax to pay, import duties, fulfillment fees. There's all these different things that people don't even realize that are associated with it. It's similar to dropshipping. People are obsessed with dropshipping. And I can kind of see the appeal, because you don't have to handle any products. You're essentially being the middleman for somebody in China selling your product on the internet. Somebody buys it and you just basically facilitate that order to the client or the customer. But again, profit margins are super low, delivery times are really slow, refunds, returns often happen. You're selling like low quality products used most of the time, and you're not really building an asset, I don't think. It's just like a quick cash grab business. So for anyone looking at wanting to start a dropshipping business, I would probably stay clear from that if it's your first online business or any business. I think the dropshipping era has now been and gone, if I'm completely frank with you. I then moved on from physical products, or moved on, and me and my business partner Peter, we actually started a number of different brands, physical products. So we had a bit of a different approach than just buying different products that would make money, and actually decided to start selling products underneath a single brand, so people could actually buy into an identity of a brand, which is super powerful and actually enables you to build something that is of value that people actually want. And it's a sellable asset. So if you want to sell it in the future, you can also do that. Now, alongside all this, all these different things I've been involved with, there's also been another underlying business model, which is what you're watching right now, being an educational content creator. And me personally, I feel this is going to be the lowest barrier to entry for most people. And it's going to be the most quickest way to reach this new rich that Tim Ferriss talks about, where you've got ultimate time and money freedom. Because if you have a skill, knowledge, a passion, and you want to share that with other people, there is no better time than now, and a platform like YouTube, to start sharing what you know with other people who are similar to you. And from there, you can offer to help them through a course, a program, coaching. It could be literally anything. But it's super simple to do, and it doesn't eat away at your time. I'd actually argue that being an educational content creator actually punishes you for working more. It sounds ridiculous, but if you post 3 to 5 videos a week on YouTube, you're sure you could probably post more. And you might think, well, the more videos I post on YouTube, the better. Which you could argue is kind of true. But also, the more videos that you record, like this one, like a talking head video where I'm just sharing information and knowledge, I think the more and more I share, the less and less they may resonate with people, because they may get a bit boring, I might get a bit tired. I might not actually be speaking from the heart and making a true connection with the person watching my videos. Whereas if I'm making 3 to 5 videos a week, I mean, I could make 3 to 5 YouTube videos a week in 2 or 3 hour slot on one day. And that's basically my content marketing done for the week. So which frees me up to do other things like build a course, work with clients, go and do other fun stuff like socializing, go to the gym, go mountain biking, whatever it is, what are the passions I want to pursue. Whereas a lot of these other business models, you were constantly working on the business and in the business as well, actually. Educational content creation for me has just been a game changer. And of course, it's not for everyone. Not everybody likes sitting in front of a camera like this, but if you do have a bit of a fear of being on camera, the one thing I will say is you do get over that pretty quickly. And you do learn to develop camera confidence as well as you make more and more videos. But you can also do faceless YouTube channels. So if there's something you want to share that is maybe a top-down video of you doing some artwork that people want to learn, a specific type of craft or design or painting, or even a screen share on a computer where your face isn't shown, but you're doing tutorials and showing people how you do things. That's essentially what you could do if you are currently scared of being on camera. I mean, as your confidence grows, maybe you want to make an appearance and put a personality behind what you're doing and show people. Because once you start understanding how to create a connection with your audience, that's where the true value is. And then yeah, you can host these courses, programs, your products on a platform like School, which is what I use. And School is an online platform where you can build a community, you can host courses in there, you can literally do everything on this one platform. And people can pay you money, they can pay you a subscription to use it, they can pay you one-off fees, you can do all this customization to what you're offering. And you just, all you have to do then is focus on the biggest needle mover task of this business, which is making videos, sitting down, recording videos. That's your main big task. That's your 80-20. And if you don't know what the 80-20 is, the 80-20 is basically saying that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your actions. And you just need to figure out what those 20% of actions are that generate the biggest leverage puller results. And for this business, it's creating content, popping on YouTube, talking about things, answering questions, educating people, giving them a link below your video to help people who want to take the next step. And by the way, if you want to join my YouTube channel builders community on School, there's a link below. You can go and check that out, where I personally work with people on their channel to grow on YouTube and grow an educational content business. So that's as simple as the call to action used to be as well. I'm not being pushy, hard or anything. If you're interested in learning more, you might want to go and check that out. And the more and more videos you share on YouTube, the more and more fishing rods you have in the water, in theory. So then, the more and more fishing rods you have in the water, the higher the chance of you catching a fish is. Which basically means, if you've got all these videos constantly going out on YouTube, and YouTube is an evergreen machine that's going to keep serving up your videos to different audiences for months and years to come, your results are just going to compound. Your income is going to compound. Everything just keeps growing. And you don't get these benefits from a lot of other business models. I know a lot of traditional people will say about building an income, building a side income, building some passivity in your life. Go and invest it in a 401k, go and invest it in stocks and shares and earn a few % a year. Why don't you just invest it in yourself and build an educational content creation channel, create a product around it. It doesn't have to be expensive to start with. Just start with something basic, help people out, put a little price tag on it, create content, ask what people want, create more and more products, and just keep growing from there. And there is no better way for me to reach this version of a new rich, which is just time and money freedom. You can live, work where you want, and not have to be a slave to the 9 to 5 doing something that you literally don't want to do, fulfilling someone else's dream. 9 to 5 is for some people. Some people don't want to be an entrepreneur. They don't want to do entrepreneurship. Some people aren't made for entrepreneurship. But for you watching this, you've watched this far, you probably are somewhat of an entrepreneur. You probably have entrepreneurial traits. Maybe this video is the one that pushes you over the edge and gets you to start your new channel and you venture down this path because you're just interested in it. It's not made for everyone. 9 to 5s are fantastic for some people, and that's fine because we need those people in the world for us to function. But if you are an entrepreneur, you have entrepreneurial traits, you want to do your own thing, you want to kick the trend, you want a more fulfilling life that has like no income ceiling, then start an educational content creation business is the way forward, in my opinion. The best online business model you can follow, hands down. And the barrier to entry now is so low. Anybody can start. It's not overly saturated. You just need to understand and decide what you're going to post on and start posting as consistently as possible, and then build yourself a product, and voila. I will leave links below to my School community. There's a course in there as well, Channel Builders and School, and it's where I'm working with people one-to-one on helping them grow their YouTube channel. So go check it out if you're interested. Hopefully I'll see you over there, and if not, some videos up there YouTube recommend. Go check them out next.